Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I have tested my internet connection, so I'm hoping that everything is going to go smoothly today. I'm assuming that maybe I got bumped onto my slower internet yesterday. So if you want to stay right till the end of the video, then I'll remake these two boxes. But really they're not super complicated. But I noticed that the first 5 minutes of the video seem to be like stuck, nothing's happening. So like I said, if you stick around to the end, then I will show you how to make these two. Not, like I said, not that I think that anybody actually needs help with them. So if everything goes fine today, we might make more than one. I'm just going to make sure that I'm in the right spot. Okay. Good news, I can actually see myself. So I'm hoping that everything goes way better than yesterday. I poured myself a cup of coffee because I figured I might actually be here for a while. Hopefully I've got enough light on my situation that you guys can all see. Okay, so if this is the first day you're tuning in, what I decided to do was I decided to have a little bit of fun this week with the product of the week, is what I'm calling it. So I picked our thin cut favor box. See, it happened again. I'm not really sure why. Because I actually tested everything before I went live to make sure I was good. So I'm not really sure what to do at this point. So I'm just going to keep on going and hopefully I will kick in. So on the first day I made these two, the little snowman. And then yesterday I made these two, the Santa Clauses. Sorry, I seem to be buffering. Anyway. So like I said, if you want to see how I made these two, if you stay till the end, I'll remake them because I'm not really sure what happened yesterday. So for today's little box, I'm going to make this guy. He's super cute. So we got a new thin cut that's like a frayed border. And so this one I thought looked just like a Christmas tree. So this is the one I'm going to make today. So as with all of them, they're perfect for all sorts of little gifts for people. And so what I've done so far, just ahead of time, is I have cut out my favor box. And I've cut it out in willow because it's like a whimsical Christmas tree. I don't think anybody's Christmas tree is actually this color. But, so if my issues don't stop, then I might have to get a booster for down here. I'm not really sure what's going on. Like I said, I tested everything before I started and it seemed to be fine. I had more than enough upload and download speed. Okay, so I've just cut out also then a pile of borders. So I'll show you where I got this. So these are all from Willow. They're the same color as my box. And they are from our thin cut set called Decorative Borders. There's so many good ones in here. So this is just one of the many borders. Some of them cut the paper and then some of them just leave imprint. So the ones that are like the stitches just actually imprint on your paper. So in a total there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them in total. So lots of fun here. So what I did was from Willow, I cut some borders using this one. So just a couple things about this one. You'll see that there's an open side where there's no metal edge. And then there's a metal edge on this side. This is the side that actually cuts the bottom fringe. So this side is open and cuts right through the paper. The other side is where you're going to get your border. So for example, for these pieces, I cut a 1-inch strip and then I just ran it twice through my Cuttlebug. Okay, and now I have a big long strip. But I've also saved my other strips that I've cut off because you don't have to have a full piece. Okay, so then move my ruler out of the way. I also have a nice big cup of coffee this morning because we've had quite a busy morning so far today. It snowed here last night. It started, of course, just about rush hour and then proceeded to snow for the rest of the night. But it's actually quite beautiful outside. It's like I walked outside just in a vest, like a down vest this morning, and I was more than fine. I had to go, didn't have to shovel us out today, but had to shovel so that we could get down the sidewalk. The dogs had an absolute blast this morning chasing each other through the snow. Okay, so I have my thin cuts. I'm going to add my adhesive. Like I said, I used super strong adhesive, so it's just a tearing tape, because I found that with just like a tape runner adhesive, I found that the boxes weren't staying together. So I always struggle with the tearing tape. I end up always cutting it. So the other thing is, if you're watching yesterday, if you fast forward to about the 5-minute mark, that seems to be where everything kicked in. And it's fine after that. I'm not really sure. It's almost like my internet needs to warm up. But then you guys don't want to sit and watch my desk for 5 minutes while my internet warms up. Okay, so I've adhered the tearing tape. I will grab my scissors and my piercing tool. So I'm just going to add the fringe onto the box to create the bottom layer of the tree. Okay, so then I just kind of lined it up with the bottom edge of the favor box. Just like that. And then I just made sure that I had adhesive all the way that I needed. And then I just cut it off from the back side. So then I actually used all these little parts to create my next layers. And you can just decide, like, think about how many you want. I knew I wanted about 3. So I just laid my next layer above it. So, and that's a partial one. And so now I'm going to take this other piece that I have sitting here and I'll add it on. See, I just kind of match them up, and it's supposed to look like a tree, so it's not going to be perfect anyway. And I will just trim it off. I'm just going to burnish it a little bit to make sure it's good and stuck down. And then I'm going to add my last one. Like I said, I knew that I wanted 3 layers. And if you just lay it kind of beside your box, then you know how far to go with the adhesive. Yeah, so I've decided that I'm not going to say exact time that I'm going to go on. And I'll just test everything before I start and then go live. So we could be all over the place. Okay, and then the fun part about this thin cut is you can just crumple it up a little bit or a lot, depending on how you want it to look. This color would also make like a super cute little elf. Okay, so then, and I've already folded, so I'm just going to gently now refold on my box edges. So there's lots of things that you can use this border for other than just the tree. It would be great for grass on a scrapbooking page, or like a Mexican border, or a fun like on a birthday card or scrapbooking page with lots of color. You kind of just have to try and think outside the box sometimes, because when we first saw this, I didn't even know which side cut on it. Okay, and if you watched any of the other videos, you'll know that the way I like to assemble them is I'm going to attach my edge first, because you just simply cut it in half, fold it in half, and then it should perfectly line up like so. And then I found it easiest to then turn it upside down. Just have a little edge I'm going to cut off after. And then I kind of squared them up and tucked my flap inside and pushed it down like that. So for this one, I didn't put the ribbon right around the tree. You could totally put the ribbon right around the tree, but I just wanted it on the top of the tree. So I've just threaded the twine through the top. So you'd put whatever you want inside. Oh, I was going to show you. So one of the other things that I've found that fit perfectly are, oh my goodness. See, I should never try and get something from over top of my head. So on Black Friday, I went shopping with my daughter. We were looking for things that would fit in the box. And at our outlet mall, we have a lint store. And so they had a deal on 100 lints, truffles. So I'll show you, they also fit perfectly in this box. There are all sorts of flavors. I don't even know what she picked here. But they fit perfectly in the box too. You could probably even fit two. Let's see. Well, 2 is a little tight, but totally doable. I just have a little extra edge here. I'm just gonna trim the tree like you do with your real Christmas tree. Always it's a little bit of a interesting to see the tree when you actually open it up versus what you picked when you were in the lot. So I'm thinking on this one, I might use this ribbon. So because I'm just tying the top up, I don't need as big a piece as if I was running it all the way around the box. So I'm just going to I'm trying to remember how I did it when I just, okay, I think I did it like this. So I ran it through the 2 bottoms probably. That's what I think I did. And then I put it through the tops. Like so. And then no, that's not what I did. Oh, good morning, sweetheart. You're not talking today? Not yet, I'm assuming. Or you have already. And now you're just sitting watching me try and tap my box. Maybe you just came to look at all my chocolate. Did you miss my big bag of chocolate? So this was our haul at the outlet for Black Friday. At the Lint outlet, they had a really good deal on 100 truffles. So Hannah had to sit there and pick out 100 truffles. But they have all sorts of good holiday flavors. So then I added that's a lot of chocolate, eh, Jess? I'm sure you have way better chocolate than me. So then you can see I just added some of the red pearls in the different sizes. To just look like the little Christmas ornaments. And I just kind of varied the sizes. It kind of looks like a Grinch tree to me. Or a Whoville tree or whatever. Okay, so there's the little Christmas tree. Here's the one with the twine and here's the one with the ribbon. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 today because it seems to be, my internet seems to be fine now. So we're also gonna make this little guy, how stinking cute is he? So obviously he's a reindeer. I can still hear the stuff falling from all around me when I got the chocolates out of the cupboard. Okay, so for this guy, I cut him in toffee, and then I cut him a stitch circle nose from the red glitter paper in the absolute. Okay, you go have fun too. I miss you tons too. And then his antlers are cut from the winter flurries, which I feel like we're having today, but actually it stopped snowing, so that's okay. So it's one of the snowflakes, and that's going to be his antlers. And if you saw my fall sampler, I also used them to make the little green on the top of the pumpkins. And then his ears, because I loved his ears, are stitched hearts. So now we're just going to assemble him. So same thing. His body is toffee and his accessories are espresso. So I'm just going to pre-fold everything. Sorry, my coffee has not kicked in because we left early because of the snow to get my son to school on time. Everything, of course, just like shuts down when it snows. Okay, so I folded everything. I'm going to add my tape, my adhesive. Okay, I'm sure this is now like watching paint dry, but look at this like big selection of little guys that we have going so far. Okay. I think even the dogs are tired from playing in the snow because they're not barking today like they were yesterday. Okay, so then I actually assembled his face before, I assembled parts of his face before I actually glued the box together. So like I said, for his ears, these are espresso, and you can decide which ones you want. I actually think that each ear I did differently. But I think, the lighter color on the inside. So I just took the heart and I kind of molded it with my fingers to be ear shape. And then I'm just going to add a glue dot on this part of the heart to glue it down. So it's just kind of like I've rolled it. So I've just rolled it like that. And that makes his ear. So that's one ear. And then his other ear. So I want the lighter color on the inside. So I'm going to kind of just do the same thing. So just with my fingers, I'm just molding it to be kind of the shape that I want it to be. Same thing, I'm going to attach a glue dot to the hump part of the ear. And then, so those are going to be his ears on there. And then his antlers. So I've just cut up the snowflake into groups of 2, like so. I just kind of bend them together like this. And same thing, I'm going to attach them with a glue dot. So I adhere the the piece of paper onto the glue dot, and then I'm going to lift it up. I was going to do it with my piercing tool, but it stuck to my finger first. So I'm just going to decide where I want his antler to be. And I found the easiest spot to decorate is this piece, because your ribbon's going to run across the bottom and up the side. So this is the front of the box pretty much. So again, I'm just kind of bending the two pieces of the bottom of the snowflake together to create his antler, and just bending one more up so one sticks sideways and one sticks up. Again, I'm just attaching it to the glue dot, and I'm going to use my piercing tool and lift it up. And then I'm going to put his other antler just about here. I kind of think it's fun when they're not perfect. Okay, so then I'm just going to add a glue dot to the back of his ear. Decide where I want it. I'll probably kind of fluff it up once I put my box together. So then here's his other ear. And I will add his nose with a couple of glue dots. So this is just the red glitter paper and the smallest stitch circle thin cut. You could also pop it up on a foam circle. Okay, so now I'm just going to set those aside. Pull the backing off my tape. And this guy I'm going to make into the ornament too. So I'm going to fold it in half, fold in the tab on the outside. And again, this one's a little bit harder because of his antlers. I'm not going to push him all the way down. I'm just going to kind of square it up. And I'll do, oh wait, he needs ribbon. Ah, okay. So for him, I think I'm going to use the skinny white and gold ribbon again. You can still add the ribbon after, it doesn't really matter, but it's just a little bit easier to do it before you attach your box together. So we're just going to thread it through the bottom like so, and then just kind of push it out of my way. Now I will put the bottom together. Just kind of square it up, fold in my edges. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what to do about yesterday's video. I might actually just even pull it down. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm just going to add his eyes. So his eyes are just, I used the biggest dots from the black and white dots. So I just need a fresh package here because I have no more big dots. Lots of eyeballs everywhere. I could probably go one size smaller, but I really liked the big, huge eyes on him. So, just gonna attach them close to his nose, and I attached them close together because I think he looks kind of goofy like that. And what kind of Rudolph is kind of goofy, so there we go. Now I'm going to fold these in and run my ribbon through the top. This one I'm not going to put anything in because he's going to be an ornament. So I'm going to run my thread through my ribbon through the bottom and out the top. You guys pretty much know the drill by now. Same thing on this side. Through the bottom and up the top. And then from one side to the other. Something's twisted here. There we go. Okay, he's untwisted now. So now you guys can see I have 4 ornaments for my box. So now I'm just going to tie this together before I attach the hanger. This was way longer than I need, but it's just that it's the end of my roll of ribbon. So again, I've got our silver thread, embellishing thread. I'm just gonna, and I quite like it doubled up. So this is right at the end, so it's super kinked. So you can run it through your fingers or through your bone folder a couple of times. Lots of times just the heat from your hands will straighten it too. So I'm just going to lay this in here. And tie my bow. And trim off my edges. I need to take the cover off my scissors. Okay, and then just tie up my threads. For his hanger for the tree. Okay, so he is done. So there we go. There's the original guy, and here's the little guy with the hanger. So this is like approximately what my box will look like. So how cute are these guys going to be? This guy's got 2 chocolates in here, so he's not going to fit. So how cute is that going to be? Okay, I have to take the chocolates out of this one because he's too full. So now that my internet connection seems to be good, I'm going to just quickly make this Santa for you guys from yesterday because it was laggy. So I showed you some of the projects from my blog from last year for the 12 days of Christmas yesterday. And because the Santa, I did him last year too, just a different version of him. I did a couple cards and some gift tags and stuff. So I used our Buffalo Plaid embossing folder on the background because I thought it made it look more kind of like textured, like a plaid shirt. So we don't have that one anymore. So sitting in the clearance section, we still have the simple chevron. So what I decided to do with the red background is that I just ran it through the embossing folder to give it a little more texture. So it fit perfectly. I just put the hung the tab out the back and lined it up however I wanted it to cut, and then just ran it through my Cuttlebug. Just to add a little bit of texture to this one. And I found my white ribbon yesterday because I wanted it to look kind of like his white fur collar down the front of his jacket. So I will cut my white ribbon and thread it through. Now for this one, because I want his ribbon underneath, I'm going to attach the box and then add his belt. So his buckle is a piece of glitter cardstock, just with like a little piece of black cardstock. So I'm just going to glue that right now. And I've used liquid glass just so that the cardstock sticks really well onto the gold glitter paper. So I'm just going to set this aside to dry for a second. Just going to put a little weight on it there. Okay, so I put my white ribbon through, and now I'll add my adhesive. So there we go. We're going to have, by the end of this video, assembled 3 of the 4 boxes. So that's not bad. And I might just edit the video and take off the beginning few minutes where it seems to be buffering. So there we go. I'm not really sure what that was about yesterday, but okay. So now I have everything stuck down. So like I said with this one, I'm just going to add his belt on top. So this is a piece of paper from the Mix-Ins. I love it. It's a little charcoal paper with a little white dot, and I thought it was just kind of festive-y. I don't think that's really a word, but we'll go with it. So in this idea book, there's a paper pack called Mix-Ins, and it's like a small, it's half a pack of paper really, but it coordinates with all of our other papers. The idea is that you should be able to mix them in with what we have. So like I said, some of these are super easy. This one especially you could do with kids, no problem. And then there was the coordinating frame with it yesterday too. So I'm going to fold it in half again, because that's the way I find it easiest to make sure everything's all lined up. And then fold my edges over. And it's never a bad idea just to kind of run your bone folder over them again, just to make sure all the flaps are adhered tightly. And upside down, just because I find that the easiest way to square it off. And I'm just going to take my bone folder and kind of just push down my flaps to make sure that they're stuck. And then again, So you fold down in your flaps the ribbon through and up. So with the solid black one, I actually attached his belt before I put the box together, and then I just ran the black ribbon around the outside of it, versus this one I wanted the belt over top of his trim. Okay, so now I have, oh my goodness, I think I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna try not to. Okay, so then back through the top. So he's flat. Oh, thank you, Margaret. That's very sweet. Hopefully somebody finds them helpful. Okay, so this one I'm going to make into the ornament. And look at this, we're like right at the end of this twine. So I'm just going to straighten it out a little bit. Absolutely went in the wrong direction there, but that's okay. So I'm just going to lay this across the top and tie up my bow. Okay, so then this one again, I'll just tie it so that it can be hung on the tree. I think these boxes would be great on the tree, even just with like money in them. Okay, so I made a total mess of that, but so note to self, do not go the wrong way. Oh my goodness. Okay. It'll just be a single strand of thread this time, not a double strand. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to tie this up for his hanger. So I think the one with the ribbon is super cute too, but they're both cute either way. Okay, so then, because I want this to be as trim, you just want to do your belt across it. So I chose to do it so that the seam where I'm attaching it is in the front. And so with this one, I just kind of lightly bent them where I wanted him to fit over top of this box. And so then I just trimmed it, and I'll just add a little bit of adhesive. So here's the back side of the mix-ins. I'm just going to add a few spots of adhesive around. So I know if you want a sharper edge, then you can still fold them after. So again, I want it, because I want to be able to add a few buttons on the top, so I'm going to add this one relatively close to the bottom. And just wrap it around. And then I'm going to add his buckle. It's almost dry on top. And then for his buttons, I just used the smallest size of the black and white dots. And I just put them on top of the ribbon. So yeah, because of the issues yesterday, I thought I would just assemble him today too. So look at all these guys. So there's literally 4 different Santas. And the 2 trees. And the 2 reindeer. And the 2 snowmen. So that's not bad. So I think I'll make the box so that it fits 4. So, for example, it could fit 4 ornaments like that. Or you can mix and match them. Thanks, I think they turned out super cute. So there's more ideas to come, so just wait till you see what tomorrow is. Talk to you later, guys. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments below. Have a great day. Bye-bye.